So today's episode will be short and very scientific. Evidently I'm wearing my blue t-shirt. That's the sign of science right there. Okay, so today we have a very simple task. There are a couple of news websites in Hungary on the internet. Yeah, I did say websites. Anyway, so there are a couple of these bad boys out there. Some of them are political, some of them are politically aligned. I don't know any of those things, but what I do know is that they are out there and I know of them. I also know the address, which is really cool, because we will use one of them as our sciencey thingy today. So, the goal of today is very simply to determine whether Google Translate works well or not. So here is the website, it is index.hu, and of course there are many websites that you can get your Hungarian stuff in English, but the idea here is that you use the very source, if you can. Now, I have not tried this. I did try Google Translate, but I have not checked it. So let's see that if I apply Google Translate, would that make sense? So let's translate this fun article. Okay, obviously book is not translated because it is, well, that's a weird way of going there. Because that's a place. It's actually this place, kind of. I mean, that part of the mountains. Right, okay, so let's see. Truth about the book Grassman. I don't know what Grassman is, but, well, technically, I guess I know, because I'm Hungarian, and the Grassman is the person that produces herbs. I'm not sure that makes sense in English, but, well. So, with the Knight's Cross, cool. Yuri's uncle, yeah, well, it's not Yuri's uncle, it's Uncle Yuri, was declared. Right, okay, well, okay, so he got the Knight's Cross, actually. Is that last Mohik of folk medicine a laughing quarrel who has misleading advice seeking quandrels of million of dangers? Okay, that kind of makes sense. I guess it's all about, you know, whether he's the kind of person who deceives millions or not. Now let's check this. Check it, I mean. If I go to index in Hungarian, let me just read it out. So he was actually awarded by the cross, which is great. The last Mohican, which is sort of like the last Indian chief, I guess that's a saying in Hungary. So was he the last big chief, or well, is he? Sorry, because he's not dead, I'm terribly sorry. So is he or is he not? Maybe he's really dangerous and he gets millions. Okay, well that seems adequate. I mean, I wouldn't really base an argument on this translation, but it kind of works. Let's see this one. Is it increasingly likely that Trump is trying to summon the law? I don't know what summon the law is, but... Oh, okay. Summoned in front of a judge or summoned... Yeah, okay. So that is completely misleading. This possibly has so far been unimaginable, but live in the age of... okay. Oh, that is actually pretty good. So far, this was unimaginable, but... we live in the age of Donald Trump. Wow, that's encouraging. Somebody can be Orban's new right hand. Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hedris was first called to the public radio. Yeah, okay, so that is actually Hatházi, which is a person. He's a comedian. And they wanted to ask about the conflicts of the LMP. Sure, yeah, some sort of conflict with a party, which led to the whole agitation propaganda. Yeah, okay, yeah. I guess that he did that. Oh, right. Well, that's pretty encouraging, isn't it? At least to me, although I know that I can confirm these things, but still, it is kind of encouraging that you can get. Google Translate is getting better. Now, the big question now, as the last of our scientific thingy for today, is if I select an article, probably not about the Grassman, would that also make sense? Let's find out. Let me select the article about this one, because I don't know what that person is. Yeah, I don't know why it is translated. By the way, just so you can imagine, that's the person right there. Well, I guess he's not a comedian then. I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure that there is a comedian with that name, though. I'm terribly sorry. I did not mean to disrespect any fancy political person just with this whole comedian stuff. Alright then, let's move on. In the life of Ákos Hatházi, he was invited to the... yeah, in the life, so first in his life, actually. He was invited to the public program for the first time. Oh, okay, that makes sense, for the first time. It's just a little bit of weird. You know, first time in his life, I guess. But then again, as you can see, Hatházi has this right next to him, and Google cannot rearrange the grammar of the sentence or rearrange the expressions based on the grammar of the sentence. So that's something that, well, you need to do. But it doesn't seem like a horrible big task. The co-chairman of the LMP, oh, that makes sense, following his action, definitely not a comedian at this point. Sometimes I can be so wrong with things. Following his election, ironically wrote on Facebook after Wednesday that the government media were not interested in it when he was elected co-chair of the parliamentary party. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah. I have never been called when I talked about Tiborcs, Florians, Farkas, the Öves program, or one of the corruption. Oh yeah, okay. Cool. But on Benedict Staple connection, oh, that's actually argument, but well, whatever. Reluctant by the host of it, slightly burnt. Yeah, opposition politicians, however, resorted to the public media rather than their offensive counterparts. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. If you can accept that public media is so we have that sort of but not that MTV. Oh, I think it's oh there you go. So we've got this one, the Hungarian television, and that is what's called public media, and other media is called media, I guess. So yeah, so instead of talking to his peer or arguing with his peer, he said horrible things about the public media. Well, okay, so that's so far so good. It's kind of alright. Now, the thing is that I've got this big monitor here, and it's easy for me to sort of put these things next to each other and try to figure out. But there is this idea that I often try to suggest people whenever you're, I guess in this case, whenever you're looking at an article that is translated with Google Translate, it's always good to have the original one. And if you're not familiar with some of the expression, or you feel that it's kind of weird, then you can always go back to the original. Now, I know that the Achilles heel of this is that, for me, it's easy to point out what the weird part is. But if you think about it, Google Translate will just go expression by expression. If something is weird in the first part of the sentence, you probably find it in the first part of the Hungarian sentence. So I guess that's the... let me show you what I'm thinking of here. So we encountered this... this slightly, no, not the slightly burned, what, something. Okay, let's talk about staple connection. So that's something like but, blah, 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 name, staple connection. So let's try to use Google Translate to do that, to figure that. So kapcsolatos, that is related, makes sense. And this one... to bind, not really, but if you remove, because you know all about the attachments, or at least some of them, if you remove them, then you will get the root, which is összetűzés, and then you get something like wrangle, fray, sure, or argument, or something like that, because that's what we call argument, actually. So összetűzés is argument. So related arguments with this person. because then again it has the vol-vel. I know this is a little bit on the expert side, but maybe, especially if you speak a little more Hungarian than just the basic things, this might help you. So that's what I was thinking when I was thinking of making this video. I hope this helps, and this is certainly not something that's bad about Hungary. Maybe the article, yeah, but not the scientific thing that we had. So thanks for watching, and see you later, I guess. Bye-bye.